Now that we have shifted from being focused on our problem to the point where we know what we want, and we are beginning to stir creativity in the inside, according to our original design, we were created in the image of a creative God. And people say, no, I don't have creativity in my bones. I'm telling you that's not the truth. Every person has a different level of creativity to begin to find possibilities and options for the solutions to my problems. I would like to go to the last column now. So let's just go through this. I've challenged you to put in writing what is your problem in your Excel spreadsheet, column 1. To move all of your energy away from that, according to Philippians 4 verse 6. Do not be anxious, but in everything, make your desires known to God. Go one step further in the third column and answer the why question. Why do I need this? And then begin to make a list. Just blindly write down possibilities and solutions for every one of your deeper desires. My experience, though, is that people do not understand that they have to transition into what I believe is the core essential element of a successful life. And that is a life that is next step oriented. So the last column for me is to ask the question then, in regards to the possibilities and possible solutions, what are possible next steps that I can take in the direction of solving what was a problem now, which is now a statement of desire and has possibilities to it. What is the possible next step? Somebody said this once, and it really stirred me deeply in my soul. You cannot solve your problems in a day, but you solve your problems on a daily basis. If you want to cut down a tree, and you just go out and give it 5 shots every single day. You know, if I start now and I try and chop down a tree with an axe and I try and do it in one go, I will not complete the task successfully. But if I do it every day, before I know it, I will have conquered that problem because I'm solving the problem on a daily basis. I want to take you to the book of James, chapter 2, verse 17. That says these words. It says, faith without works is dead. And to me, one of the possible ways to interpret that scripture is to understand that if I have a problem, I make my desires known to God. And as I look at possibilities, faith is growing on the inside. But if I do not translate it into action, I want to tell you, execution is king on this planet. In every organization, in every family, in your personal life, every dream that you have, if you are not executing, if you are not taking little next steps in the direction of your dream, you will never reach it. You will never get there. So what I did is, when I had time constraints as an example, that was my problem. I said, I need so much time to read, so much time to work, so much time to rest. And this is what I want to do with the time in the Y column. And I started looking at options, and I discovered that I could possibly read inside my car the 9 hours that I spent in my car every week. And then I said, all right, I'm going to take a next step. I cannot stick a book onto the steering wheel and read every time that it comes around. I had to get audiobooks, but I didn't have any audiobooks. So what actually happens as you begin to take the next steps, it actually takes you back to the what do I want column. And you discover new desires. You discover that maybe some of the things that I wanted, I do not really need them. I do not want them anymore. A friend of mine said that he's got a dream. He wants to have a lodge. And I asked him why. What do you want to do with that dream? And he said, I would love to send people off maybe for 2 nights to rest a bit, work on their marriage and so on. And in the option column, we discovered that there are many other possibilities. One option is you buy a lodge. But there are other possibilities. You could send somebody to a very nice romantic place somewhere close to Dullstroom, for instance. And I saw somebody take next steps on his dream that previously, for a couple of years, had no forward movement. Suddenly, he was taking next steps because of this journey solving the problem, and maybe discovering in the next steps that his desires are changing, that he says, I actually don't need the lodge anymore. I have found other ways to live my dream. A young lady says, I want to take my grandmother to London. I said, all right, what is the problem? I don't have money. What is your desire? I want to take my mother there. What's the why? What do you want to go do in London? And she said, we want to visit some of the museums. And then I said, all right, before you go to London, are there possible next steps that you can take in the area where you live? And she discovered that she could take her grandma to a museum closer to home. So maybe she will continue with that desire to go to London, but you can start living your dream. When you take next steps, whether it's research or you begin to experiment, or you actually do it incrementally in smaller amounts, you are actually plucking your future into your today. And I have discovered that the joy of the Lord is in this journey of discovery. What do I want, and what does He want for my life? He's able to do exceedingly above all that I dare ask or imagine. And my faith translates into works, into deeds. And this kind of life brings me from a victim mentality to a place where I live the fact that I am more than a conqueror. And Jesus Christ capacitates me to live my life to the fullness of His glory. May you experience exactly the same.